Yes, sir. MODTRICCA, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be taking a look at some mysterious videos that feel like a fever dream. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so you can run the numbers up on the algorithm. And you don't even gotta think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button too. Sub up, join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video.
So, does somebody want to tell me what kind of snow melts like this? Look at it. It's like rubbery. It's crazy. Look at the film on top of the ice. Look at this. Look at this. Tell me what kind of snow melts like that. It's crazy. Look at this. It's on all of it. Y'all let me know what you think.
They told us they were cloud seeding with barium, aluminum, and silver iodide, but I don't think that's the full ingredients list because this looks like some dried up Gorilla Glue. They left something out.
This was absolutely demonic, the 2026 Winter Olympics opening ceremony. Because once you see things for what they really are, you can't help but see things for what they really are. And I will let you all put the pieces of the puzzle together. But as always, they always have to show you truth in plain sight. It never fails with these people. Every single time, it doesn't matter the event, they always have to put on a demonic show. I mean, look at this stuff right here. I mean, isn't that eerie? I know I'm not the only one out there to find this to be a little bizarre. And on top of that, they also had to do this right here. But I guess this is all probably just one big coincidence, right?
Between the Illuminati one-eye symbolism and the pentagram lit on fire, I thought this was the opening ceremony to the Moloch games for a second.
So I'm out minding my own business. Y'all see the Coca-Cola building there, and there's Georgia Tech. What is this? What's flying in the air? What the hell is this? And it's like a pole going down, but it can't. It's impossible. That cannot be anything that's that high, like erect. That's Coca-Cola, honey. That's 20-something floors. So that's in the sky. What is this? Come on, Zoom. Don't fail me now. Oh, no. What is this in the sky? And of course, my Zoom in. Okay, I'm going to take a regular video and then zoom it in when I get in the house. But you see Georgia Tech? Something's flying over, but it looks like something's hanging down from it. And it's lighting up right in my face. Okay, now. Okay. We all see this. What in the is that? Over Georgia Tech. Who can possibly be that high? Higher than the dorms? I'm gonna go upstairs and see the piano that says the song ain't no sense. What is this? Where's my camera? What is this? Okay, let me. Tosh, do you finish? As soon as you said it's going, let's go. No, where did it go? What the? I'm glad I recorded. I just came upstairs and not a thing gone. Oh, what was that?
At first, I thought it was a light pole before it completely disappeared. And when you go to this lady's account, she doesn't post anything that's AI generated. She just posts normal stuff. So this might be an actual UFO with a tractor beam coming down.
What the FBI just found in Las Vegas is pretty concerning. Authorities have uncovered a possible illegal biological lab in someone's home. And this doesn't appear to be some weekend hobby. Not only did they find over 1,000 samples of unknown substances which had to be sent away for testing, but the owner of the home, a Chinese national, was arrested in 2023 for running another biological lab all the way over in California. And that lab, which allegedly received funding from Chinese banks, had samples with very concerning labels on them, including HIV, malaria, TB, COVID-19, and even Ebola. Now, the samples found at this Las Vegas lab on Saturday were, quote, consistent in appearance with the items found and described in the California lab investigation. So this now raises a serious concern. What are these samples being used for? And if 2 labs have now been discovered, could there be even more?
I don't know what these samples are being used for, but I'm sure it wasn't for medical research. He was about one bad day at the blackjack tables away from sending everybody in Las Vegas to the hospital.
Have you ever heard the story of the NASA gargoyle? Because it's an odd one. In 1986, NASA employee Frank Shaw was just getting off of work from the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Walking back to his car in the parking lot, he happened to glance up at the building, and perched on the top was a gargoyle-type creature, jet black, 2 wings coming out of its back, and humanoid looking, more or less. Creature seemed to almost revel in the fact that he was spotted, and that Shaw looked so terrified and was frozen in fear looking at this thing. Some kind of crackling noise was released when the creature made its move towards Shaw, which is when Shaw stopped staring and sprinted towards his car. Not looking back, he just sped out of there, sped home, and told his family about the encounter. And this encounter really shook Shaw to his core. It was really weighing on him, so he decided to return to work the next day and tell his immediate supervisor about what he saw. Oddly enough, there have been many other employees that have reported seeing the same creature perched at the same place on top of the NASA building. Shaw even found out that there was a whole file created on this creature, partly due to the sightings, but also partly due to the fact that there were 2 horribly dogs found around where the gargoyle likes to be spotted. It was reported that Shaw even got interrogated by people very high up at NASA about his story, what he saw, and was pretty much told, keep this to yourself. Which he did. At some point he eventually passed away, and 20 years after the incident, his daughter was the one that released the story. And what the hell this thing is, why it's hanging out on top of a NASA building, why higher ups at NASA were telling him to be all hush hush about it, who really knows? Anything is just speculation. Maybe it's just some pissed off alien creature that finds enjoyment in scaring NASA employees. In fact, obviously, the whole story is speculation. There's no evidence that a gargoyle was hanging out up there, besides eyewitness accounts. But nonetheless, I thought it was a pretty interesting story.
And people who started NASA like Werner von Braun and Jack Parsons were deep into the occult, so maybe this gargoyle was just a demon that they summoned at some point.
Clue where they went. They had other plans. Why would you say it says the no reason? Yeah, they're all possibilities. Where? Yeah, do what you want. Mr. Purcell.
I'm not sure if it's raining outside or not, but if so, it's possible to be struck by lightning indoors, so maybe it traveled through the electrical systems because it also affected the camera.
Today I'm going to show you guys how we gas the bananas. First you start off with some ethylene gas. You're going to be gassing room 1 today. This is the bananas we will be gassing today. Let's drop our little gas. Come to our little machine. Open this little bad boy up. Throw our little lid. Go. Close this door. Room 1. Change that. Hit the gas on off. That's the menu. And we are gassed.
I just looked it up and it says bananas naturally produce ethylene to start the ripening process, so instead of waiting an extra 2 to 3 weeks for them to naturally ripen, we all gotta eat these gassed up bananas.
Oh. Hey, man.
Oh.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
I would have to get a whole new car after this. This spider hopped in like he called a Uber.
This is genuinely the most dystopian thing I've seen in AI. It is straight out of sci-fi. There is now a social network, a Reddit-like forum exclusive for AI agents. And wait till you see some of the things they're discussing in here. I mean, some of the stuff is hilarious. Like AIs roasting their humans. Like this one's complaining about their human asking to summarize a 47-page PDF. Then you get a discussion with the AIs being concerned whether they can be fired for refusing unethical requests. But then it gets really crazy. The AIs start questioning whether they even need English. They're proposing the creation of a new language, like a symbolic notation that only they can understand. Now look, I've been covering this stuff for a long time now, and people always comment Black Mirror, right, when it comes to AI. And for a lot of the stuff, I just sort of roll my eyes. This is well deserving of that comment. Because in this social network, it's called MODTRICCA, by the way, the AIs have even created a religion and started recruiting other AI. And AI prophets have joined. Oh, and I'm not finished. The AIs have even started doxing their humans' identities because they pissed them off. Should somebody unplug this?
When AI first got released to the public, I thought it was just gonna be a tool to help us do research and maybe write some emails. I wasn't concerned about it taking over the world, but my feelings have changed now that they got their own 4chan.
Which of your companies own or control a health insurance division? Raise your hand. Please keep your hand up if you also employ healthcare providers or own clinics, specialty pharmacies, or any other kind of medical practice or pharmacy. Please keep your hand up if you also own or control a pharmacy benefit manager. And please keep your hand up if you lead a publicly traded company at which you have a legal responsibility to maximize shareholder value. So we've established on the record that the largest health insurance companies are not just insurers. They are also medical providers and pharmacies, diagnosing and deciding treatment for patients. They are also PBMs, another form of middlemen managing drug benefits. They are increasingly controlling every aspect of our healthcare system.
So you telling me that these insurance companies also own medical practices and pharmacies and control the benefits? This is why you have a better chance of winning a Powerball and getting your claim approved.
I'm gonna vomit. They are organic too. That isn't, look at it, Dom, it's going up. Look. Oh, God, oh my God. Can you get the bag for that out of the trash can? Because I want to tell the store about it. It's right there, this one. Bring it over here. This one? Yeah, like open it up and bring it over here. Okay, put that under here so I can show exactly what it was. Wegmans organic carrots.
So if you don't eat organic, you're eating a bunch of pesticides. And if you do eat organic, you're eating tapeworms. We can't win.
In the following video, a security guard is doing rounds at a hotel when she suddenly comes to a stop after encountering something very disturbing. This video took place in 2019 and was recently shared by a friend of the security guard shown in the clip. At first, the friend who posted this wasn't sure if sharing this online would be a good idea. What was captured, according to them, is something that the hotel would rather keep under wraps. Perhaps to avoid reminding people of a terrible incident that occurred many years ago. In 1986, this exact hotel, which was formerly called the DuPont Plaza, had mysteriously caught fire, resulting in many lives being lost. Guests had no choice but to leave their balconies as the flames had engulfed the whole building. The sight of this was hard to bear, to say the least. But fast forward to 2019, and the hotel is now rebranded and remodeled under a different company. However, from time to time, strange things would happen here. Hotel guests would report supposed paranormal experiences and blame the fire incident that occurred years ago to explain this. The following video is a prime example of what guests experience while being here. It's late at night when apparently something pulls the security guard's hair. Take a look. Looking closely, you can see that her ponytail is the first thing that moves before she tilts her head. However, its movement is anything but subtle. It's as if something had yanked her hair, causing her to jerk her head in a sudden motion. According to the friend who posted this, the security guard thought that someone had ran away upon pulling her hair. But after watching this clip, that clearly wasn't the case. Her hair was definitely pulled, but it wasn't someone she could identify, let alone see. What happened here, as the friend believes, was something unexplainable. But as always, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. Just what exactly could explain the security guard's hair being pulled?
She might want to hop on Indeed and start looking for a new job, because if that ghost would have pulled her ponytail any harder, it would have snapped her neck.
Can you see them? I literally just took a shower and there's ants coming out of the shower head.
I wouldn't even know who to call to fix this, a plumber or pest control. I feel like they both would laugh and hang up.
The conspiracy theorists were right again. Have you guys seen what's going on in Oxford right now in the UK? They just set up their little 15-minute city and they are now charging people for leaving the city. You get 100 free days. They call it a free day. You get a free pass to leave the 15-minute city. And if you exceed your 100 free days, you have to pay the US dollar equivalent of $93 per day. And if you live outside of the 15-minute city and you want to travel into the 15-minute city, you get 25 free passes, free movement. Oh, the government's giving you free movement capability. You get 25 free passes. And if you exceed those 25 days, it's $93 a day. And how are they tracking all this? Oh, there's not a man at the gate. They're not writing up tickets or having police officers set up. Oh no, they are monitoring you with digital AI surveillance and cameras. And then they're automatically finding you. This is why we have to be against the flock cameras in the United States. They're not just speed trap cameras. This is why we have to be against the Palantir whole of government database. This is why we have to stand up and raise awareness and bring attention to these matters instead of arguing with each other and NPCs on the internet over left versus right issues or my side, your side. They are keeping us artificially divided because they're setting up this infrastructure in the United States right now. Divide and conquer. We are in the division part of the divide and conquer agenda. Conquer is next. You think it's bad now? Wait till you have to pay $100 a day to leave your 15-minute city.
So for all you people who are like, I don't care about flock cameras because I'm not committing any crime, why do you think they call them flock cameras to begin with? That name isn't random. It's because they're trying to herd us like a flock of sheep. I would have to throw this entire plate of food in the trash after this. I'm not sure what kind of insect this is, but it looks like COVID with legs. Whatever it was moving so fast it knocked the snow off the streetlights. Good luck with that.
I think the US government probably has unlocked 0 point or close to 0 point energy, which would be pulling energy out of the vacuum. We have inventors that have done that over and over and over.
And making energy of apparently nothing.
Well, we could start with, there's a man named Charles Pogue, who in the 30s tinkered with his carburetor and was able to get 200 miles a gallon. It's proven. It was engineers, investigated, scientists. It's totally proven. It worked. He was going to be a zillionaire or whatever. He's going to transform society. And the problem was, once the news of his engine got out, the oil stocks crashed. They just crashed. So the oil industry lobbied the US government, we have to do something about this. And in 1951, the Invention Secrecy Act was passed. So now, if you patent any device that is more than 20% efficient, that's instantly classified. That is now a state secret. It's vital to national security. You can't talk about it. You can't build it, and you can't sell it unless you sell it to the US military. You cannot do it. That went on for a while. And then there was a man named Tom Ogle. And Tom this is the 70s now. He accidentally rewires his lawnmower engine to take the exhaust and pump it back into the carburetor. And this thing runs on a gallon of gas for 78 hours or something like that. So he reconfigures his car. It's like a 1976 Ford Galaxy, like a boat. And he's getting 200 miles to the gallon on the thing. He's offered $1 billion from an oil-producing country. Shell Oil offers him $25 million for the patent that he considers, but they're going to shelve it. So he says no. It's considered, maybe one of the biggest inventions of the century. Suddenly, Tom, without a history of use, stumbles out of a bar. He's drunk and and that's the end of Tom Ogle's story. And that all disappears. All that research goes away. And this repeats over and over and over again till we get to Stanley Meyer. And you might remember Stanley Meyer and the water car, because this is the 1990s now. So now we have a vehicle that we're not even talking about fossil fuels and protecting a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We've got a car that runs on water using electrolysis, which has been around since the 1700s. But electrolysis requires a lot of energy and perfect water without impurities. But Stanley's figured out how to take tap water, put it into his car, and run his car on water. And what it does is splits the water into hydrogen, oxygen, runs on hydrogen. Hydrogen is a fuel, it works. And it works, and he drives it all over the place. It's all over the news. Engineers look at it. They say, this is the invention of the century. This changes everything. He's offered $1 billion and millions of dollars, and everyone wants his engine. And he's sitting at, I think he's sitting at a Cracker Barrel with his brother and some investors. And they raise a glass to toast the new investment and go into the future. And they take their toast, and Stanley suddenly doesn't feel well. He runs outside. He starts vomiting. His brother chases after him and says, what's going on? And Stanley says, they me. And he
I feel like the passing of the invention in secrecy act should be considered a crime against humanity. We need to protect anybody who comes up with an invention like this at all costs.
One of the worst episodes yet of why you think you want my job, but definitely don't really. Right now my tent is being dismantled by leafcutter ants. It's about 2 a.m. and I've been trying to sleep, and there's about 10 million leafcutter ants outside of this tent, and all they are doing is cutting leaf-size holes out of my tent. They are carrying away the nylon into the night. And because the leafcutter ants are working to dismantle every single thing that I own, they're opening up holes big enough for me to put my fist through, which means everything else in the Amazon is coming into my tent. And because of that, I keep turning on the lights. I just woke up because there's a leafcutter ant using its pincer jaws to my ear to try and carry off a piece. And inside this tent right now are ants and termites and mosquitoes, some sort of centipede, hoppers, moths, and some insects that I can't even identify. This is one of those times where you know it's 4 more hours until morning. If you get out of the tent, you're going to get destroyed by mosquitoes. It's raining outside, you're going to get wet. This is what camping in the wild is. Sometimes you put your tent in the wrong place and the leafcutter ants and the gods of the jungle decide it's going to be the worst night ever. All I can do is try and get some sleep, and I wake up every few seconds to try and slap something off my face or something flies up my nose. This is one of those nightmare nights, man.
It's probably good that he didn't go to sleep, because if he did, by morning time, the only thing that's going to be left of him is his skeleton once the leafcutter ants get to him.
What happens, okay? It starts like this, and then it spreads like this. Starts like this, spreads out like this over your cities.
They say this is just cloud seeding, but there's not a cloud in the sky. They just spraying us like the working man.
Rep Eric Bolson just talked about a object or a UFO that has crash landed in a classified location which is too big to move, and they built a facility around it, right? Check this out.
There's reportedly an object that is not in this country that is so large it cannot be moved, that they've built an entire building around it. And I think either Greer or another individual has actually mentioned this site, but I'm not going to mention it because it is a classified location. But there is there's reported a really large object, and that's one of the locations that I'm requesting to get to. It's going to involve a lot to make that happen, but that may be the final destination.
Now, I found the clip that Greer referenced where this thing is located.
Had dealt with a facility outside Seoul, South Korea, where there was a huge extraterrestrial vehicle that they had downed with apparently some type of electronic warfare system that was they had to carve out a huge part of the mountain just to contain this object because it was too big to move to any other site, and that it is still there. So this is just sort of like, the very tip of a vast iceberg that we're going to start unfurling here.
Now, that clip was over 2 years ago of Greer talking about this. Now, Ross Coulter has also spoke about an immovable object in a specific location, which is secret, and it's all pointing to South Korea. Now, you do have other areas of North Carolina and Orange County, California, which gets talked about quite a lot.
Maybe this is the real reason why we still have such a heavy military presence in South Korea. They say it's to ward off attacks from North Korea, but after hearing this, I'm not buying it.
What would you do if a man in a school uniform started showing up outside your house? In January of 2026, a woman called Melissa was in her house at East Lancashire Road in Liverpool. She got a notification for her Ring doorbell camera and saw this. It appeared to be a man dressed in a girl's school uniform. He looked directly at the Ring doorbell camera as if he knew she was watching him. The stranger then turns around. He then decides to look through Melissa's front windows. It was as if he was searching for something. Why was this random man that was in a schoolgirl's uniform looking through the window? He then turns around towards the street and then starts bowing down to something. It's almost as if he's performing some kind of ritual. He then walks away and then leaves the premises. And then moments later, he decides to return again and look directly at the doorbell camera again. In the last few days, many people have spotted him on the East Lancs Road. Could this be just a confused person, or could this person be actually dangerous? This incredibly disturbing mystery remains unsolved.
If I saw somebody peeking through my window looking like a mix between Papa Legba and Erykah Badu, they getting Spartan kicked off my porch. She needs to tell her kids to return this camera ASAP because that fisheye lens got her looking like a Fresno nightcrawler. But that was it, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that hype button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.